back with another live stream. Tap in. I'm back with another live stream. About to talk about a topic. Um, the issue and concerns. That's the topic. 1 second. I gotta do something real quick. The message go through. All right. What's up, YouTube? Guys, tap in with another. Tap in. Okay. Did you get it? Okay. All right. What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? I need to address this topic. It's been a long time coming. I had to talk about this because this is a problem that I think is of great importance. What's up, cuz? Thank you for tuning in, cuz. And thank you for hitting the like button. I appreciate the love and support. It means a lot to me. I just want to address this topic. This is something that I've been thinking about talking for a while now, but I've now reached the pretty much at the end now where it has to be said. Um, I want to first start off by saying I don't have a problem with black people identifying as something that they feel they have worked hard to get. Um, and there is some truth to the so-called FBA community, also known as Foundational Black Americans. But there are a lot of inconsistencies and a lot of problems that I've noticed that have came out of this so-called FBA movement that I want to address in this video. First of all, FBA was not really a term that existed in the 1900s. This is a term that's recently been created by a person named Tariq Nasheed. And if you guys don't know who Tariq Nasheed is like the leader of the FBA community. He's the one that created the term FBA. And it was him that came up with this derogatory term to describe black people that are not so-called black Americans that may have parents that are immigrants. And this term is used to degrade black people that are foreigners. They may come from Jamaica, Haiti, or places in Africa. And this term that they use to describe black foreigners is tether. Hunter, thank you all for tuning in, Hunter. And I want to address the issues that I have with the FBA community because as a black person, I stand with black people as a whole, fighting against oppression, fighting against systemic racism, and things in this country that creates division. So I've always been objective and fair when it comes onto that. And I was someone that was right there in the front line speaking out against systemic racism, white supremacy. There was a YouTuber that I used to support a lot. His name was Red Supreme TV1. I've always been someone that was an advocate for speaking out against oppression that my people have faced, because we all were separated from one another on the slave ship, and we were dropped off in different parts of the world. But our ancestors went through the same struggle that they all have faced with slavery. Our people were beaten, abused, mistreated, and treated like they're less than human. And when I've never really know anything about what my own opinion about this is, I see black people as equal amongst each other. We all in the same fight. We are all facing the same struggle, similar struggles. I don't want to say everybody's going through the same struggle because we are all not under the same. We don't come from the all same socioeconomic background. So there are people in our race that are far well off more than others. So we are all not facing the same struggle, but in terms of our ancestors and the atrocity that was done to them, we can all relate to that. And I just want to talk about this. I want to talk about this because the FBA community have created this division that have this notion that if you are a black person that come from another country, they call you this derogatory term called tether, and it's literally a racial slur that's used to denigrate and disrespect black people that are not from America, that don't have ancestors that are from America. And it's disgusting because I've noticed that when I used to support this YouTuber, they used to treat me with respect, and I used to post on his video, and it will go live. When it went live, he would actually highlight my comment in his video and acknowledge my comments a lot of times. But it was one video that he made when they were addressing foreigners, right? And all of a sudden, they started uh, calling people that come from the islands tethers. And I said, I was born in Jamaica, and I moved here when I was young, and I live in the States most of my life. And I have a lot of ties to the black American culture. Shayla, hi Shayla. I have a lot of ties with the black American culture. So I understand the country, the culture, and I understand the struggles that black people have went through in order to make America where it is right now. So I've always been an advocate for speaking out against systemic racism, and I've seen what happened through slavery is something that I don't stand for, and I also don't want to see history repeat itself, because those who don't learn from the history are destined to repeat it. So I understand the struggle and the plight that black people have to face in order to be free from slavery. And yet, for some reason, it's like we're not on the same page when it comes on to coming together on one solidarity, so that we can unite and face the system that is designed to keep us oppressed. There's this division going on with this FBA movement thing, where people who identify as foundational Black Americans, also known as FBA, are basically calling themselves they're delineating or separating themselves from other Black ethnic groups, because they're saying anyone that don't have any direct ties to America, with their parents being from America, that you're called a tether. It's a very derogatory term that is like used to denigrate people who are not specifically from America. And it really disgusts me, because what why are we treating our own fellow black brothers and sisters like an object, and like we're basically practicing the same systemic oppression that white colonizers imposed on black people. It's like they're carrying out those same ideologies. Because when we make a distinct, when we make division amongst our own race, because at the end of the day, when we are being pulled over by a cop, and you got a cop that is being racist towards us, he's not going to look at us any differently than any black person. He's going to treat us accordingly based on the skin color. And when you think about racist groups like the KKK that are out here lynching black people in mass numbers, especially in the state of Mississippi, a KKK or a racist group is not going to look at a black person and see them differently based on their ethnicity. They all see us the same at the end of the day. You say you love my live stream. I appreciate it, Sebastian. Thank you for the support. So when it comes on towards people and the struggle we face, we have to realize we are all that we have. But this FBA movement has created a division and created a drift in the struggle against white oppression and white supremacy. Because if black folks that are identifying as FBA are looking down on other black people based on where they were born or where their parents are from, then it's basically creating more division. And if we're divided as people, we're easier to be conquered. And it's just sad that we have to resort to this thing. It just doesn't make sense to me at all, because we all been through similar struggles, and our and ancestors that have been through slavery, they were all treated the same in terms of how they were looked at as people. And it's just we were all dropped off in different places of the world, but we all were slaves at the end of the day. And so it doesn't make sense to me that this FBA thing is creating this hatred. They have a lot of hatred towards people that are not so-called from America. You see, if your parents migrated from a different country, if your parents are immigrants, even if you may be born in the United States, these same so-called FBA is gonna identify you as a so-called tether. Like, if you have one parent that came from another foreign country, it could be from parts of the Caribbean or parts of Africa, and if one of your parents are from America, they still identify you as a so-called tether. And I just can't stand for this anymore. I got to address this problem because this is an issue that is going on in the FBA community, and they are proud to embrace this ideology of being labeled as FBA. This idea came from Tariq Nasheed, and he's basically pimping the community for financial gain, because FBA was not a thing in the 1990s, in the early 2000s. This idea came out of nowhere. This FBA thing is a new thing that came out of the woodworks, and it's just sad that we live in a society where black people can never seem to agree on anything. There's just so much division, so much hatred amongst our own kind. And it's like, what can we accomplish as a people, as a race, if we can't all agree on one issue? And it's just sad because, like I said, on this YouTuber's channel, I used to support him, send super chats, send cash app. I was an avid supporter of his channel, and he used to highlight my comments in his YouTube live stream. And as soon as this, I got disrespected by one of the viewers on his channel because they said I was a so-called tether because of the fact that I wasn't born in the United States. And I said, I responded saying I have more experience being a person that lives in America. I understand the culture more than some of these so-called foundational Black Americans, because I've lived in the States for a very long time. So I understand the culture. I understand the ways of life in America, and and on top of that, I'm an American citizen. So I pay taxes just like any other FBA, so-called Black American. So it really is surprising to me that people can look at you differently, treat you a certain way based on your origin. And it's sad because if we are speaking out against white white supremacy, if we're speaking out against racism, if we're speaking about things in the society that keeps our people down, it's not gonna help us as people to move forward if we're creating this huge division amongst all black people, to make people that don't originate from America feel less than human, because if their parents are immigrants, you see them as a so-called tether, which is a very derogatory thing to say. That's the same thing as calling a black person the N-word with the R-E-R. And so Tariq Nasheed have created out this term to create a drift and a division amongst black people, and give this so-called FBA a sense of like superiority, because they said this is how they identify themselves based on their lineage. But it creates division, because what it does is that when people look at one group of people a certain way based on their origin, it makes people see each other as less than human. It gives you a sense of superiority over that person. And I've seen countless videos. They just address black people that are from other countries as tethers. They just say African tethers, Caribbean tethers. They're just so disrespectful, man. And I can't stand for it. I can't stand for it. I gotta address it head on, because for you to just label these people as so-called tethers just shows that you're basically practicing the same oppression and systemic racism that white folks have done to you for to your ancestors during slavery. And I've made a video before saying black people can't be racist because we don't create system and laws that oppress a certain group of people. And this guy named Red Supreme TV1 stole a lot of my talking points. He stole that talking point about black people can't be racist because we don't create laws and certain we don't create certain laws to oppress a certain group of people. He stole that talking point from me. A lot of things that I say, he took it and ran with it, and it didn't give me any credit. And now because they noticed, because they found out that I'm not a so-called FBA, they switched up on me. And when I got blocked, I recently got blocked on this channel, right? And I realized that one of his moderator blocked me, so I switched my YouTube account. And I was under, like, I had two YouTube accounts under my profile. So I switched over to another YouTube account, and then I typed into his comments, let him know that one of your moderator blocked me, and he completely ignored it. And they're fully aware of who I am because I've been always involved with the channel, like actively involved with the channel. And so I gave the name of the original channel, which is Speak Your Mind 2, right? And I typed it in the comment section saying, like, one of your moderators blocked me. I don't know who, but somebody blocked me because I can't see my comment when I post in the live stream. And then somebody responded to me and said, oh, it was YouTube that did it. And then I said, there's no way YouTube has the power to block a viewer or a person that comment in the they can restrict comments, but they don't have the power to block the channel. It's only the moderator or the host of the channel that has that power to do so. So they lied to me and made it seem like, oh, it was YouTube. And then I thought maybe it was YouTube. So I tried to, post a comment in the original channel, and my comment didn't go through. So I want to say this, man. This is an issue that I have with these so-called FBAs, is that when they find out that you're not a so-called foundational Black American, they start treating you differently. They start acting as if you are not one of them, and they start creating this feeling as if you are of a different group, you're of a different kind of race. And they say they use this term delineation, or we're separating ourselves from other ethnic group that even they may be Black, we don't identify as them. We see ourselves as someone else differently. And this is the problem that I have with the Black race. It's like we could never get along. We could never come together in agreement on certain important issues that we have to deal with in this country. When you got all these lynchings that are going on in the state of Mississippi, and recently a Black man that is from another country, I think he's Africa, somewhere in Africa. He recently got lynched in the state of North Carolina. The problem that I have is that we are under attack. You got these racist groups out here going out and just lynching our people. They're not looking at us any differently based on our ethnicity or based on where we're from. They're not looking at one Black person differently because of the fact that their parents are immigrants, or they're not looking at you differently based on the fact that you were born in the Caribbean, or you may be born in some part of Africa. At the end of the day, they all see us as the same. They all see us as another N-word. So this FBA thing is very detrimental to the community and to our race as a whole, because when we create division amongst our own people, we don't have the power to overthrow the system of white supremacy. You see, and I always speak out against this. I'm always somebody that try to advocate for my people. I see Black people as equal compared to me. I don't see anyone less or more than me, because we all in the same struggle when it comes onto the system of white supremacy. You see, when Black people are getting lynched in so much numbers, when we see these news coming out, and all these younger Black men and women that are getting lynched, that also affects me, because It could be anyone close to me that it could happen. It could be somebody that I know. It could be somebody that means a lot to me, right? And these so-called FBAs, they a lot of times they don't even want to address this issue. They don't want to address this issue at all. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's really disappointing to me that we can't agree on certain topics, certain issues. So I want to play this video because these people have a sense of superior. They very arrogant and prideful, and Jesus Christ don't speak about this in the Bible. He don't create. He didn't make he didn't speak about. He don't advocate for things like this in the scripture. He don't support division for people, for us to be divided. He don't talk about this stuff. So let me play this video where this dude named Tariq Nasheed have created this whole term of FBA movement that's a absolute fallacy and create division for black people as a whole. So Tariq Nasheed came up with the term, right? With the FBA. Just want to say, man, this FBA thing is an actual pimp. He's a pimp. This dude Tariq Nasheed is an actual pimp, man. Because he's literally using the black community for financial gain. So let me play this thing by this Tariq Nasheed guy, man. He's a pimp of the FBA, of the so-called FBA.
There's a thin line between a revolutionary and a racketeer. One tries to break the chains, the other tries to sell you a subscription to the plantation. Tariq Nasheed calls himself the general, but generals lead soldiers into battle. Tariq leads lost souls into a gift shop. We're about to dissect the career of a man who looked at the open wound of black America and decided the best way to treat it was to infect it for profit. What up, y'all? It's your boy, old man, aka O the Dread. We need to have a serious conversation today. If you've been following this series, you know we don't do gossip, we do autopsies. We dissected the bitterness of Lord Jamar, we exposed the chameleon nature of Fat Joe, but those two, they were just symptoms. Today we're cutting out the tumor. Tariq Nasheed is the man whispering in Lord Jamar's ear. He's the man using Fat Joe as a scarecrow to frighten you into isolation. He brands himself as the world's #1 race baiter. He thinks that's a flex. He thinks that's clever marketing. But I see it for what it is, a confession. He admits he's baiting you. He hooks you with legitimate historical trauma, reels you in with anger, and then charges you monthly dues to stay in his echo chamber. Tariq Nasheed is running the longest con in the history of the conscious community. And today, the game ends. You want to know who a man is? Look at where he started. Tariq didn't come up in the struggle. He came up in the game. Before he was the FBA general, he was K-Flex, a pickup artist, a macking instructor. He wrote the book, The Art of Macking, literally. In that world, the strategy is simple. You find a woman with low self-esteem, you isolate her from her friends, you tell her that everyone else is lying to her and only you know her worth. You break her down so you can build her back up in your image. That's social engineering. That's manipulation 101. Now, look at his political career. He didn't change his methods, he just changed his victim pool. He realized that teaching men how to pick up women has a glass ceiling, but teaching black people how to hate everyone, that market is infinite. He applied the Macking script to activism. Step 1, find the insecurity. We have no tangibles, we're at the bottom. Step 2, isolate the target. Africans are your enemy, Caribbeans are tethers, Latinos are guests. You have no allies. Step 3, position yourself as a savior. Only FBA can save you. Only I have the hidden history. He's pimping the pain of the community. He demands loyalty. He demands money. And if you question him, you get the backhand. This is where the plot thickens. This is where he uses his pawns. Take Lord Jamar, a man desperate for relevance. Tariq fed him the script. Tell them hip-hop is 100% American. Tell them the immigrants are the guests. Why? To create a wall. Then he uses Fat Joe. Now, I told you about Fat Joe. The man is a chameleon. He has stolen valor. But Tariq uses Joe's fraudulence to commit the bigger crime. Tariq holds up Fat Joe and screams, look, Latinos did nothing. They are just guests.
The thing is, we're not accepting lies. Number one, there was no Puerto Rican and black creating hip-hop 50-50. That's a lie. Puerto Ricans were not there in the beginning, helping to create hip-hop. That's a lie. There were no Puerto Ricans rapping in the early 70s or before. If they say they were, that's a lie. They were not DJing then, that's a lie. They were not b-boying then, they came later. All of that is a lie to say they were.
He uses Fat Joe to hide the truth. Because if Tariq told you about Yellow Benji, if he told you about the Ghetto Brothers, if he admitted that a Puerto Rican gang brokered the whole Avenue Peace meeting that allowed hip-hop to breathe in the first place, then his guest narrative dies. He needs Fat Joe to be the face of Latin.
There's only one thing I agree with the FBA, so-called FBA community. I can't say that so-called Hispanic created hip-hop. Now, they were participant in the culture of hip-hop, but beats and rhymes and all that stuff were made way before the so-called Hispanic people even came on the scenes. So the origin of hip-hop is rooted in the culture of Black Americans. And also, hip-hop was also created by DJ Harm, which is from Jamaica. But the actual root of it, it came from so-called, I can't even use it, I like to use the term, but Black Americans, because they were making beats and they were dancing and doing things way in advance. So the origin is still roots in it, so I have to acknowledge that. Because I know a lot of Hispanic will come on the scene and say, oh, we it's 50-50, we play a role in hip-hop. But you see, you can't go into their culture and claim 50-50 in their music. Whatever, bachata, merengue, even though there's a lot of Black artists in Black culture that bachata and merengue have origin in African beats and stuff like that, but they don't acknowledge that in their culture. They don't acknowledge that their music has origin in Africa. The beat, the rhythm, the flow of the music, it all ties back into Africa, ties back to Africa. So even La Da Bamba was made by that famous song, La Da Da Bamba, was an African, it was a Black man that made that music. So Hispanic people don't want to give their due respect to the originators of these music. So that's the only thing I could agree with. But just to just deny that any other ethnic group played a role in the create, not the creation but the evolution of the music, is kind of sad to me. And so that's the issue I have with the so-called FBA community. It's like they want to take credit for everything. They want to say, oh, we are the originator of, obviously they played a role in hip-hop being where it is, but like all these different genres, they just claim as if nobody else played a role in it becoming where it is right now. So that's another problem I wanted to talk to, but let's continue with the video.
Latinos because Fat Joe's easy to hate. He's a liar. Tariq hides the heroes like Yellow Benji because they disprove his theory of isolation. He's erasing the true history of the South Bronx, the coalition of Black and brown survival, to sell you a lie that you're alone in this fight. Let's talk about the product, the hidden history. Hidden Colors made him a millionaire, but at what cost to the truth? He sells you feel-good fiction. He calls it scholarship. He calls it a hustle. He sat there and told millions of people that the Moors brought running water to Rome in 711 AD. But let's do the math. The Romans built the aqueducts in 312 BC. That's a 1,000-year gap. It's historically illiterate. He claims the Vatican invented Egyptology to hide Black history. He claims Aboriginal Black people were in America before Native Americans. He throws these claims out without a single peer-reviewed source. Why? Because accuracy isn't the goal.
No, I can't disagree. I'm going to disagree with this guy. You see, I'm very fair and balanced. I'm not someone who is talking about this from a biased point of view. I'm very objective in the things that I say. There were Black people that were indigenous to this land way before slave ships arrived in America. Like, there were countless Black people that were indigenous to this land. Not saying that is the case for every single Black Americans. There are Black Americans who direct descendants are from Africa, right? Like, you know, not direct, but like their ancestors were a direct descendant of Africa. But to just say every single person is from Africa that came over, it's incorrect. There are Black people that are indigenous to America, and they also shared their territory and land with the Native Americans. They had like a correlation with the Native Americans. So that's a part that I have to address. See, I'm very objective. Like, I can acknowledge that there are Black people that are indigenous. There are Black people indigenous to every part of the continent. Even in Australia, do you guys know there are black there are black tribes in Australia before the white people arrived? And you know what the white settlers did to the black tribes that lived in Australia? They they slaughtered them. They literally slaughtered them and butchered them like animals. You said, "Yep, I knew it." Exactly. See, so I'm fair and balanced. Like I said, I don't have. There's certain things I can say. Black Americans can they can be certain of. There are indigenous groups, but see, that's when it becomes an issue because um, the fact remains there are black people that are indigenous to the land of America. You said even in Brazil? Oh yeah, especially in Brazil, man. Black Brazil, you know that in the country of Brazil, there are more black people that live in Brazil than black people in America as a whole. Not just counting black Americans, but also black people from all different ethnic groups and stuff. Like there are more people living in Brazil that are black than black people living in America. So Brazil have a huge black population, and there are a lot of indigenous black people in the land in South America. If you could look at that in Mexico too. In Mexico, there are a lot of indigenous black people. Exactly, there are a lot of indigenous. You even said it. You reading my mind. There were a lot of indigenous black people in Mexico, and that's why there's so much. Mexicans are mixed with so many different things. They're mestizo, and there's so much different indigenous tribes. But when the Spaniards arrived, they intermingle with those folks, and that's why there's so many different mixtures of race. That's what they call Mexicans, because they're mixtures of different ethnic group and race under one umbrella. And then yeah, even in Japan originated. They had black people that originated in Japan, in China too, in Asia. There were black people that originally lived in those Asian countries. So our people have been indigenous to every part of the continent. But I was going back to in Australia, when the European settlers colonized Australia, they they massacred the black indigenous tribe in Australia. I watched a documentary. I don't know what its title. I forgot the name of it, but it really pissed me to the it really upset me to the core, because what they did, it was like they literally massacred the whole black race, the indigenous race in Australia. These are a black aboriginals. They spoke their own language. They had their own customs, their own way of life. And when the Europeans colonized Australia, they straight up just slaughtered all the black indigenous group that lived in Australia. Um, they just killed them like on arrival. They just slaughtered these people, and it's sick. So I know that Europeans have slaughtered millions upon millions of black Aboriginal people that live in these different continents. So that is something I know is a reality. But yeah, no, that's a fact of life that black people were indigenous to all parts of the world, man, and we've been everywhere, man. So you could find black people in all parts of the world. That's just a fact, you know. That's just a fact. But let's continue with the video.
Dopamine is the goal. He knows that if he tells you we was kings, you'll feel good for an hour. You'll buy the next DVD, and you'll subscribe to the Patreon. It's junk food for the consciousness. It tastes good going down, but it leaves you malnourished and unable to fight the actual battles we face in 2026. And then there's the money. Always follow the money. The Hidden History Museum. Now, let's be clear. He opened the building. The doors are open on Jefferson Boulevard. I'm not saying the building doesn't exist. I'm saying look at how he treats the people who paid for the bricks. He raised over $1 million. That money came from working class black folks. And when the project was delayed, which happens in construction, that's fine. A donor called this show, a black woman who invested her hard-earned money. She asked a simple question: is this happening? Where's the money? A real leader would reassure her. A businessman would show the books.
Let's read this. The Hidden History Museum has also stirred up controversy. In a YouTube episode called Tariq Nasheed, Where is That Museum? Ninja, Prehistoric Hood Rat Calls, posted in February on Nasheed's New Black Media's Clips channel, a woman called in to talk to Nasheed and complained that the museum was taking too long. She said she was one of the donors and screamed, "It's taking a long damn time. It don't make no damn sense." She asked if Nasheed was trying to commit a scam before continuing to say, the museum should have been up by now. People paid their money not for you to play around. So you could see Tyree was basically pimping his followers, man. Like literally pimping his followers for financial gain, and he used the so-called FBA plight to basically grift off of the black community, and they make people feel a sense of identity, which I don't have a problem with people, finding certain sense of purpose and finding things that they can relate to. I don't have a problem with that. It's when people use it for all the wrong reasons. And Tariq Nasheed is a pimp that used the FBA movement as a way to exploit his own people. And he's similar to Dr. Umar Johnson, that promised they was going to build the school, and even up to now, the school hasn't been completed. And he got the same amount, received millions. I think he received a lot of money off of his supporters. Like, and even up to now, the school has not been built. So we do have a lot of pimps and a lot of um, just a lot of fake people in our community that just knows how to exploit our own. But you see, these so-called FBA who identify themselves as such, they don't see black people that come from another country as one of their own kind. Even though we share the same skin complexion, right? We share the same skin complexion, and we get treated the same based on the fact that we're black. They don't see us as black, as so-called black Americans, or they don't identify us as another black person. To call a black person a so-called tether is very disgusting, and that should never be used in the vocabulary. But Red Supreme just address people that come from foreign countries that are black as black tethers, black African tethers or Caribbean tethers, like Asian. Like, it's disgusting, man. And I'm sick and tired of it. And somebody needs to talk about it, because the ignorance amongst these so-called FBA people, it really disgusts me, man. Like, they're very ignorant people, and I can't stand it, because I actually stand for certain things that they talk about. I stand for the things that they say about how it was because of slaves that were black. There are black American slaves that contributed a lot to this country, that helped build this country to where it is. So I'd agree to a certain aspect of it when it comes on to the contribution that black Americans had made to this country. There were slaves that were in America that actually created inventions, created ideas, and made brilliant like inventions. Like, they were like geniuses, and their ideas were stolen from them by the white slave owners, and they weren't able to patent their ideas because they were seen as property. So I see these things, and I understand that, and I can acknowledge that that was a thing. But this old movement that's going on is like, they don't want to include all black people under the same category. It's like they want to delineate amongst the so-called black race. So if you can't control what part of the world you're born into, like, you can't control where your parents came from. I can't control the fact that my parents migrated from Jamaica, and like, you can't control any of that part of life. And it's crazy how they punish you for something you can't control. So the fact that your parents may migrate from from Haiti, from Jamaica, from other parts like Trinidad and all these places, or South America like Panama, you're automatically seen as a tether. And it's like, for people to be treated like that makes me see how evil people can be, and how they treat people based on their background, and based on their ethnicity. They have mental issues. Yeah, I agree with you 100% because they're mentally ill, man. Mentally ill. Because if we are under a race war, like let's say, which I don't think is gonna happen, but let's say there's like a fight that breaks out and we're under attack, which we are right now because these racist groups are out here lynching black men and women, right? They are targeting lone people, lone black people. They're very evil and demonic, exactly. They're targeting lone black people, and so what they're doing is they're going after anybody that's black. You see, they're not looking at one black person and saying, "Oh, that person is Jamaican. Oh, that person is Haitian. That person is African." They all see us the same. So the fact that we are under attack as a race, this is more time for us to come together and unite as one. But this FBA community is creating division amongst the black race because they're like, oh, we're delineating from anybody who doesn't identify as FBA, which is sick because you got people who may have parents that have migrated from another country in the Caribbeans in Africa or South America, and yet they're speaking out against these things going on in this country with these lynchings, and they are fighting alongside with black Americans against the system of against systemic racism, against white supremacy and all this stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, you got lawyers, civil rights attorneys that have parents that came from other countries. You see, I find it very hypocritical that these so-called black Americans that identify as, black Americans that identify as this FBA thing, they benefit from a lot of things that we contribute to this country, that foreigners that are black, we contribute a lot to this country with our business, with our ideas. We are very intelligent people. There are a lot of doctors, nurses, a lot of lawyers that are from different countries that are black people that are from the Caribbeans or from Africa. So they benefit from our contribution as well. It's not like only them. It's like this is why it come off as very arrogant and pompous because they like make it seem like everything that is in America is their part. They only the one. What I'm trying to say, they only play a part in it, and nobody else does. And they go to Jamaican restaurants. You see how it's crazy? These so-called FBA would love to eat our food. They love to go to Jamaican restaurants and eat our food, and yet they want to call us so-called tethers, which is crazy. But you eat Jamaican food, you listen to dancehall, you love our culture, but you treat us differently based on the fact that we come from a different country, which is sick. But yeah, let me go ahead and continue with this video, my commentary.
Tariq Nasheed, he roasted her. He mocked her voice, he called her a dusty, and he humiliated an investor on a live broadcast for entertainment. That's not leadership. That's a bully with a microphone. He treated his own supporters like enemies the moment they asked for accountability. And when the bullying doesn't work, he lies. Look at the Taharka Abok Bay case. Tariq went online and destroyed this man's character, accused him of domestic violence, accused him of heinous crimes against children. He thought the internet rules applied in federal court. He found out they don't. August 2025, the verdict is in. $50,000 settlement. He had to cut a check for 50 bands because he couldn't prove his lies. That settlement is a receipt. It's proof that Tariq Nasheed will fabricate trauma on another black man just to win a Twitter argument.
Let's read this. This is crazy. So this dude tried to sabotage this guy and make a false accusation against him. And he took him to court, and he ended up winning a verdict of $50,000. So here's his stipulation of dismissal with prejudice. Pursuant to Rule 4, blah, 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 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, the parties have reached a settlement agreement resolving all claims and dispute between them in the action. That's crazy, right? Cuz of a settlement in the amount of $50,000 as full and final settlement of all claims filed by plaintiff. Wow. The judge that ruled on the case is this guy named Otis E. Wright. This was filed in August 12, 2004, and I guess the case was settled last year, around August 20, 2025. And yeah, he got took to court and he ended up losing. He ended up losing in court because of his false allegation he made against this
And
individual.
don't forget the Holiday Inn incident. He posted a video of a hotel clerk having a mental breakdown. He framed it as racism. He sicked his mob on a minimum wage worker. Turns out the clerk had a history of mental illness and was being harassed for an associate's mistake. The internet raised $130,000 for this clerk. Tariq looked like a fool. He moves with zero integrity. He destroys lives for clicks. This is the tragedy of it all. The concept of lineage-based reparations has merit. There is a specific debt owed to the descendants of American chattel slavery. That is a valid political stance. But Tariq Nasheed hijacked that stance and drove it off a cliff. He wrapped the righteous cause in so much hate and xenophobia that he's turned it radioactive. He coined the term tether. He uses it to dehumanize Africans and Caribbeans. He tells you that they're tethered to foreign interests. But let's look at the reality. Tariq Nasheed is tethered to white supremacy. His entire brand depends on racism never ending. He needs the white man to be the boogeyman forever. If we actually build independent power, if we actually unified with the global diaspora, Tariq's business model collapses. He sells you isolation because isolation is profitable. He sells you anger because anger engages the algorithm. He's the Al Sharpton of the dark web, just another poverty pimp in a better suit. Tariq Nasheed is a conflict entrepreneur.
Isn't that crazy, cuz? You see how crazy these people are? Absolute insane, man. It's crazy.
He doesn't manufacture goods, he manufactures beef. He's an identity architect who builds prisons, not schools. He takes the legitimate pain of Black American history, the lynching, the redlining, the trauma, and he weaponizes it, not against the system, but against other Black people. He's still K-Flex. He's still running game. He tells you that you are the foundational people, the chosen ones, the kings and queens, but he treats you like an ATM. He mocks your questions, he bans your dissent, he takes your money and gives you a YouTube rant in return. He's not a general, he's a warden, and he's convinced thousands of people to lock themselves in a cell of hatred and throw away the key. That isn't pro-Black, that's anti-progress, and that is nefarious work. That's the video.
You see, that's beautiful. I agree. Like I said, there's things that he brought up that were valid, and obviously there are things that I had to disprove, right? And you see how I'm objective about it? I'm just not just going with everything he's saying because I have a personal vendetta towards so-called FBAs, like Ringo TV does. Ringo TV, he made a lot of valid points against, speaking out against FBA, but I could tell he wasn't being objective because he has a personal vendetta towards FBAs. Like, he's the same one that said Charlie Kirk did more for Black people than Martin Luther King ever did. You see, when people say some outrageous thing like that, I can't stand for it, because I know as much as, there are faults with Dr. Martin Luther King, one thing I would say, he was in the front line speaking out against white supremacy and speaking out against the injustice that Black people have faced. And he was one of the main reasons why civil rights laws were basically followed through, why we were able to receive rights as Black people. So I'm very objective when it comes to just looking at the totality of everything, with the things that my people have to face and struggles that we have to go through. But yeah, Tariq Nasheed is an actual pimp, man, in the Black community, because he created this term, the tether. He's the one that invented this name, this derogatory term that's used to describe any Black foreigners, any Black person that migrated from the Caribbean or Africa or South America. That's the term they use to describe us. So it's like, and people like Red Supreme TV, I used to rock with his channel. I was supportive of his channel way back then, like probably like 10, almost 5 to 10 years, because he used to have he has a channel that got eventually removed, and now he called himself King Supreme, like something like that. And I don't like calling nobody no king, because the only person that's king is the Heavenly Father above. So I used to rock with his channel heavy. I mean, I used to support. I used to send cash apps, donations, and he used to acknowledge my comments in his channel. And he started switching up. All of a sudden, when they found out I was a so-called tether, I hate using that word because it's very derogatory. But when they found out I was a so-called tether, he started like not acknowledge my comments, and the viewers started treating me differently. Like, And recently, when I got blocked and I addressed it, he ignored my comment. I posted like multiple times, like, "Yo, can you see who blocked me? One of your moderators blocked me." He just basically ignored it. So I can't rock with the FBA movement, man. It's a bunch of hateful people that carry on the same belief system that white supremacists have done towards them. So it's like they're repeating the same cycle, and they've been traumatized by slavery, and I think their trauma has caused them to lash out on people that look just like them, that may come from a whole different country. So yeah, that's a problem that I have with the so-called FBA community. Now listen to this guy. This guy is an actual FBA. He identifies as so-called FBA, and his name is Tariq. He's not Tariq Nasheed, but he's another Tariq. And these people are straight up demonic, man. These people. This is why a lot of these people are going to be destroyed, and they're not going to make it. Excuse me. They're not going to make it into the kingdom of heaven, because the Lord is not going to look at you any differently if you're a so-called FBA versus someone who come from another country that may not be of the same lineage. Because you know what they pride themselves in with people who call themselves FBA is the lineage. Oh, my lineage can be traced back to chattel slavery, where my ancestors were subjected to all these things during slavery. They take pride in that thing, but we all come from the same struggle. Our ancestors were all we both our ancestors went through slavery. Both of our ancestors went through abuse, and we all faced so much this just dehumanizing thing that our people had to go through. So we come from the same problem, and so we've been through the similar type of trauma. But these people want to act like if you're from you from a whole different ethnic group, even if you may be black, you're not one of us, which is crazy. But listen to this dude. Listen to this guy here. Let me see if I can skip this dude.
Yeah. Yep. He's a punk motherfucker. Hey, black people, look, I grew up in the Bay Area, okay? And I grew up in the 90s, okay? Yeah. And I never knew that I'm anything but black. I mean, now it's called cosplay or whatever. I mean, I'm older now, man, you know what I'm saying? But black people stood for me, man. So I could never, ever, deny or, stood out my folks. Even if they feel some sort of way nowadays, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like if black people believe and know and feel what they feel right now, we supposed to support them in any way necessary.
Yeah.
Okay.
My man. Okay. But thank you so much, brother. Why is it okay?
Oh, this is
okay. It gave me a restriction because of JMO.
Oh, never mind. I'm tripping because this is actually Tariq Nasheed. Now you hear the guy that's talking. He's like, if I'm not mistaken, he said he was born and raised in the American culture, and he seen himself as black. He don't see himself as anything else. But listen to this evil guy. Listen to what this person, this con artist is gonna say about this guy and make him seem as if, oh, he's not a part of us because his parents may be immigrants, or he may have came from a whole different country, but he said identify as black because that's all I've known, that's all I've been raised around. But listen to what Tariq is about to say.
Oh wow. Okay. All right, Joe. What's up, Joe? Okay. Let me see. Joe is out.
This dude is
Rolling
a pimp.
Stone. Rolling Stone. Oh yeah, y'all watch your language. Yeah. They gave me a restriction. I had to get them out and to stop the restriction. You gotta watch your language when y'all come up, please.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up, Rolling Stone?
Dog?
I'm good, man. How you doing, fam?
Man, I'm good, family. Hey, man, I've been watching you, bro, since, man, I ain't gonna lie, so I was like 18, 19.
Let me see if I can speed this up a little bit.
Man, I just wanna, man, just give you your time.
Texas?
No, I'm from Memphis.
Memphis, okay, yes.
Yo, Memphis King, man. I was just, I came up, I was just in your boy live over there, man. I think I heard y'all talking about him, the FBA Red dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I hear y'all, I see that y'all boys, so I ain't gonna, say too much. But I ain't gonna lie though, man. I came up the bro line, I was repping for the FBA, bro. Started disrespecting me too, man. I'm like, damn, it like that, like.
You hear him?
You know what I mean? Like, I came up, because he started asking me, like, about my accent and, I'm
You
like,
hear that?
bro, like.
You hear that? You hear that, cuz? This dude was rocking with the FBA movement, and they started disrespecting him too because of his accent. That's what they did to me. They did something similar to me in the comment section when they found out, oh, I was born in Jamaica and I moved to the States when I was young. They started treating me differently. Yeah, that's crazy. You see how they started acting differently towards him when they found out he was so-called, I hate using that word. Very derogatory word. You know that word is. When they found out he was so-called that word, they started treating him differently. And I'm like, why are you treating me now based on the fact that you found out? And they don't even know you. They don't even know if he was actually from a different country. But even if he was, why would that matter? Because he's supporting the so-called FBA community. I'm sure he donated to the channel. I'm sure he sent super chat, cash apps, which I used to do on Red Supreme TV channel. And I was one of those big supporters of his channel. But I got blocked for some reason, for no reason. Not some reason. I got blocked for no reason, and he never stood up for me. He never. See, that's why I said the FBA community is full of a lot of hate. They're a hateful group of people, man. A hateful group of people. Once they find out that you are so-called tethered, I hate using that word, but when you find out, because you're not a so-called, that word was invented by Tariq Nasheed, and it's derogatory in meaning, and it's used to degrade black people that come from foreign countries. Like, if they're not born in America, if their parents are not American, you see, it's crazy. If you got like grandparents that come from another country, let's say you're like a third generation that's in America, the fact that you got a parent that are like migrated from another country that's like several generations down the line, they still see you as a so-called that word. They're like, because your lineage don't trace all the way back to chattel slavery when black people were slaves in America. If you can trace your origin right back to that, then you're always going to be seen as that word, which is very derogatory and disgusting. But listen to it.
I'm with the lineage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, but I don't know. I haven't been to spaces, so I don't know what's being talked about over there. So yeah, I don't know. But
he said he don't know. He's fully aware of what he's saying, and he's trying to act like as if he doesn't play a part in why this division has happened in the first place. You're the one that created the term. You're the one that made that term a thing, and everybody has accepted it as a part of their own philosophy. So for you to just say you don't know why they're doing this and that, it just shows how much of a phony he is, because he's fully aware of this term. He's the reason why there's so much division amongst the black race, because these so-called FBAs, if they find out that you're not from, your lineage don't trace back to America, they're gonna see you as that word. They're automatically gonna call you that word. So like for him to just act like as if he didn't play a part in that is just crazy.
just love. It's all respect, man. It's all respect over here. Respect. All right, let me get thank you, brother. Let me get Alfred.
Respect my ass.
Hey, what's going on, my good brother?
Bony ass dude, man.
Hey, brother, how are you, Alfred?
Doing good, man. Hey, listen, I'm a Pan African. I'm gonna just put that out there.
Are you Nigerian?
I ain't Nigerian, man.
Where's your family from? I hear an accent.
You see how derogatory this guy is? He didn't even ask him where you're from. He automatically jumped to the conclusion that he's Nigerian. I hear your accent. Like he didn't even ask him where do you come from, like where your parents are from. He automatically just assumed that he's Nigerian. And he's like, I could tell based on your accent. How can you know based on the accent? This is why I would never like support this FBA thing. When it comes onto that stuff, I would never support it. Like with other things, when it comes onto the fight against white supremacy and systemic racism, I'm all for it. But when it comes onto things like this to create division, I don't support no way, shape or form. But listen to this guy, man. This is ridiculous, man.
I ain't got no accent, brother. I'm from Jersey.
Brother, where's your family from, sir?
I'm Black American.
With respect, brother, and that's okay. It's okay to be from an immigrant background, but we hear your accent. You know we can hear your accent, right?
How you gonna tell me where I'm from, man? Come on, don't do me like that.
You see this
Because
dude?
I hear your accent, sir, and I hear flies in the back.
You hear this dude? You see how disrespectful he is? And this is how his minions act. If they hear an accent or they feel in their mind that you're not from America, they automatically start disrespecting you and calling you names. This derogatory term that he came up with. It's like calling black people the N-word with a R-E-R, and they start acting different towards you based on the fact that they see you as not a part of the so-called lineage, which is sick. This is sick, man.
So I hear it. I can hear it, sir. Where you from? Let's stop here.
All right. Yeah. So my father from Senegal. You know.
There you go.
You know,
there you go.
my mother, she Black American. I say that.
I only believe that.
You Black American.
You see, okay, why does it matter if his father from Senegal, mom's from America? But automatically you're making it seem like, oh, something is wrong with him because of the fact that one of his parents came from a whole different country. So this is what this dude has done, man. He had destroyed the black community because of this division that he has made. He has made like real. Now he made this thing a thing. Now it's a part of the black community. Like he's made it evident in the eyes of black Americans. So now black people who identify themselves as FBA are looking down on people that come from other countries, ethnic group, and yet these people may be right there along with you, fighting against the same struggles that you're going through, and they are not speaking down on so-called black Americans. But because they don't have any lineage that trace back to chattel slavery in America, then you automatically see them as less than you. Like it's sick, man. But listen to this.
Wait, man. I don't believe that. Have you been to visit Senegal?
Never. I never went back, man. I mean, like when I was 3 years old, my mother took me, but I ain't never. I don't remember it.
Yeah. You don't. Your mother is not FBA. You wouldn't have an accent if your mother was FBA. You learn how to talk really from your mother.
This dude is disgusting, man.
I say so, man. I say so, but just like how I know how to talk, in my Senegal accent or talk in my FBA accent, it's a learned trait, just like how you learn, right? So.
No, brother. We hear it though.
I ain't got no.
He's just stuck on the accent, bro. That's literally like a form of racism. Like, I can't even say black people technically can be racist because we don't create laws, in this country to oppress a certain group of people. But they practice in form of institutional racism because you're creating this difference in how you treat someone based on where they're from. So if their parents migrated from a whole different country, even if they're black, you don't see them as equal to you. You look down on them and see them as so-called TEHTHR, Slimy a barber, gang. Oh, look, we got an FBA. Wait, before I block this dude, are you an FBA guy? Po boy, are you an FBA? Do you identify as an FBA? Because look, you gotta be an immature person to look at oh, he's an FBA. Yo, cuz, we got an FBA in the chat. We got an FBA. So let me ask you a question, because I want to entertain this right now. Because you gotta be very immature and very ignorant to be talking about my hairline. Like, why do you care about my hairline? You're not even focusing on the topic. Because I'm addressing this issue, and this is the problem I have with the FBA community. People like you who create division and hate amongst black people when we all in the same struggle and we all in the same fight, and our black people, our black brothers and sisters are being lynched out here. Let me ask you a question: do you see every black person as tether that come from a whole different country. I don't care about you because I live in the States most of my life. So I rock with so-called people that are fighting against the same problem I'm facing. I'm going against the system of white supremacy. I'm going against the system of institutional racism. I speak out against this. I'm in the same struggle that y'all face. But y'all want to act like you are so-called better than people just as the fact that my lineage is not traced back to America, then you see me as less than as who I am. You said, was we in the same fight when your people sold mines into slavery? What do you mean, bro? You don't know, like you don't know what you're talking about, poor boy. My parents are from Jamaica. My people didn't sold your people into slavery. I'm not African, bro. This is the thing that I can't stand with these so-called FBAs. You guys don't know the facts about a lot of things you say. You make assumptions about people without getting to know them. Just like with Tariq Nasheed. He already automatically judged this guy based on his accent. Didn't get his point of view. Didn't try to understand where his head space is coming from. Because a lot of these people that you see as so-called tether are there in this country supporting the same cause that you're supporting. And listen, a white man not gonna look at a black person any differently based on his ethnicity, based on where he's from, based on his background. They're gonna be treated just the same. You see, if a racist group come around and trying to harm you, he's not gonna ask you where you're from. No, I'm not saying you call me that, but I'm saying that's what we are called. Any person that don't identify as an FBA is called that term. I'm not saying you call me that term, but that's what these so-called FBA called. I was called that for the simple fact that my lineage don't trace back into America. That my ancestors were enslaved in America. So they automatically call me that term. So my question is that you never call me that, but that's the term that you use to describe black people that are foreigners. So all of us, we all came from, we all were just sent to different places of the world. So I don't understand why, when it comes on to this movement, that there's a division going on amongst black people, because we all been through similar struggles and we're fighting against the same system that is used to oppress us. No, that's not true. Poor boy, said they only call you that if you're acting like one. Nope, that's not true. I used to support this. Do you know this YouTuber called Red Supreme TV1? Do you know this YouTuber called Red Supreme TV1? Let me know if you know this YouTuber, because I'm about to prove that what you're saying is false. Because they used to make it seem like, oh, we only call people that word if they speak out against black Americans. We only call people they have something negative to say about black Americans. But I started realizing that no, they call any person that's black that are not from America that this derogatory word. And Red Supreme says it all the time. He say African tethers. He don't say, oh, this term is only used to people, or only used to describe black people that don't agree with black Americans, that are carrying those same beliefs. So you are saying that we FBA is divisive? You're us paying homage to our heritage devices? Not saying it's a device. You paying homage to your heritage? It's nothing wrong with. I've acknowledged the fact that black Americans played a huge part in us getting civil rights, right? If it wasn't for black, and it's not just black Americans, there were people that were black that came from other countries that were right alongside with black Americans fighting against white oppression and systemic racism. Don't you remember there was a lot of slaves that were in the Caribbean in South America they would send a slave. No, they send slaves from Caribbean to America. So there's a lot of so-called black Americans that have ancestors that were slaves that came from the Caribbean. Do you know that? So when you create this division thing, it's like it's creating a problem amongst our race, because if you look at the history, there are people that were slaves that came from the Caribbean that were shipped to America. because slavery was a very, very wealthy, commodity. And you said that you said, so you're saying that FBA is divisive. Never said. I said the way you guys think. So, all right, let me go back to what I was saying. If you know this YouTuber called Red Supreme TV, you know this YouTuber called Red Supreme? Let me know. Yeah, they don't even know their own history. They don't even know that the slave ships stopped in hella countries. The slave ships stopped in America, Jamaica, Grenada, Trinidad, Brazil, Puerto Rico, Haiti. Exactly, cuz. Okay, so you know that YouTuber. Okay, there is a time I used to support this guy's channel. I used to send cash apps. I used to send super chats, and there are times when he used to acknowledge my comments in his videos when he was going live. He would post my comment in his live stream because I used to contribute a lot to his channel, and I spoke out against the system of white supremacy. See, that's a tether saying we don't know our history. Nah, you're not gonna disrespect my cousin like that. He's not a tether. See, you see, when we're speaking about you don't know your history, is the fact that you guys are not aware of the struggles that all black people have been through. All black people that were sent on slave ships, that was sent to different parts of the globe, they all went through slavery. We all went through similar experiences. So you can't just claim that, oh, this person is a so-called tether because he come from a whole different country. But let me go back to the point I was trying to make. Red Supreme TV 1, I used to support his channel every. I'm talking about, I probably donated like at least $300. And over the lifetime that I've donated to his channel, like I've been supporting his channel a lot. And he stole a lot of my talking points. He even stole the talking point of like, how black people can be racist because we don't create laws to oppress a group of people. He stole that talking point from me. But I didn't make a big deal out of it because at the end of the day, as long as the message is going out there and it's reaching people, that's all that matters to me. So let me just say this one thing. I used to support this guy's channel a lot, right? And then one of the live stream, obviously we can't be racist. I've said that. But he stole that talking point from me. But I'm saying that I used to support his channel a lot, and he used to highlight my comments in his live stream. And then some one of his live stream, it was about them addressing black people that are from other countries. And then somebody in the chat was like calling Jamaicans tethers, and I hate saying that word, but that's what he was saying. Black people, like calling all these black people tethers. And so I said, wait, so that means if I was born in Jamaica, that makes me a tether? And they said, yeah, that's your tether. I said, well, I was born in Jamaica, but I moved to America when I was young. I lived in the States most of my life. So you can't. So you're saying basically that I'm a tether. They're like, well, you can't really claim one of us. You're not one of us. You can't even claim you can't even be a part of the so-called FBA group now. They started treating me differently, and now they started claiming that, you're an outsider, and that, you need to just hang out, only click with so-called Jamaicans. You're not one of us. So they started treating me differently when they found out I was not, my lineage didn't trace back to America. And so all of a sudden I've been disrespected in the chat, even though I was one of the main supporters in this. I'm not saying I donated all the time, but I used to donate to his channel. So even if you donate $20, that's a huge, that's huge, because a lot of people don't tend to donate. So I used to donate to his channel. I used to be actively involved in his chat, and some unknown, it was like one of the moderators was disrespecting me. No, that's not true. According to what? No, that's not true, poor boy. That's not true, poor boy. They call me a tether, even though I never spoke out against black Americans, even though I was one of those main supporters in his channel that was supporting black Americans. I spoke out against the system of white supremacy. I spoke out against all the stuff that white people have done to my people. I always stand in solidarity with black Americans, and I was right there along with them. And because because my lineage doesn't trace back to America, I was called a tether in his chat by several people. Even one of his moderators referred to me as a tether. And not once did he ever spoke out against it and say, you know what, We can't call just any black person a tether. We only gonna call those people if they speak out against, if they have something bad against black Americans. He didn't make that distinction, and now he referred to black people who come from other countries as tethers. He say African tethers, Caribbean tethers, Haitian tethers, Jamaican tethers. So what you gotta say about that? Because tether is a very derogatory word, man. That's used to denigrate black people who come from other countries. What you gotta say about my own experience of what I'm talking about, po boy? What you gotta say about that? About Red Supreme not checking his supporters, and then one of his moderators called me out of my name and say, "Oh, you're not a part of this group. You don't belong to us. You don't belong with us. You need to go hang out with your Jamaican brother. You need to go hang out with them." So explain to me now what you got to say about these folks that call me out my name because of the fact that I wasn't born in America and my parents. You can't speak for now you're being disingenuous, my brother. You're being disingenuous because it's not the first person that said it. It's multiple people that have used that term. I can name countless videos of these so-called FBA referring to black foreigners as tethers. They don't make, oh, if you are a black person, come from a foreign countries, if you have like a negative opinion towards black Americans, you're known as, no, they refer to black people that come from other foreign nations as tethers. They say African tethers, they say Caribbean tethers. That's what they do. They make that distinction. So they are definitely creating division amongst black people, man. Not saying you, but I'm speaking, you're just one person. You're just one individual. But as a collective, that's how they see black people that come from other countries. You're just one individual. So obviously, if the rule doesn't apply to you, it doesn't apply to you. But as a collective, that's how they see black people that come from other countries. They call them tethers. They call them tethers. Even if that black person may stand in solidarity with black Americans, they're fighting the same fight that you fight. They're going through the same struggles they're going through, and they are advocating for the same rights. They're speaking for reparation for black Americans, just like black people that were, held captive and used as slaves in different countries. They need to seek reparation from those countries that held them in captivity, like Spain, Great Britain, like that, like stuff like that. So I speak. I speak. You said if they're acting like tethers, then yeah. If they're bashing FBA's, but you see, you're just a. And he call you one though. Yeah, he call you one though. You see how it's crazy, cuz he call you a tether and he don't even know you. You see, let me point out the hypocrisy in you, po boy, because you call my cousin a tether for the simple fact that he said he didn't disrespect black Americans. All he said, let me just go back to his comment. He said they don't know their own history. He said they don't know that the slave ships stopped in hella countries, like shipped to all parts of the world, right? He's speaking in general. He's not saying you specific. He's speaking in general, saying that you guys are not aware. It's true. A lot of let's see, this is why I have a problem with the so-called FBA community, right? You said that's very disrespectful. Not disrespectful if it's the truth. Because there's FBA that sees me as a tether for the fact that I come from a whole different country. They see me as a tether because I come from a all different background. Come on, brother. Come on, let me see what Cuz says. They see me as a tether, bro. I'm not just saying just one isolated incident, bro. It's countless videos of these so-called foundational black Americans referring to black people that come from other countries as tethers. They say African tethers, they say Caribbean tethers, they say South American. Like, if you're a black person that come from a whole different country, if you come from Nigeria, if you come from Ghana, and you're from any parts of Africa, they call you a tether, bro. Yeah, they blocking your comment, cuz, because you going in on this guy, man. Chill out a little bit, brother. But you going in, bro. You said that's crazy if it offends you. If it's wrong, it offends me. It's all good. So let me ask you a question. Do you think that's right? Yeah, cuz listen to this. I'm gonna ask him a follow-up question. Let me see where his head is coming from, right? Cuz I'm gonna ask him this question. Do you think it's wrong that black Americans will call a black person that come from a foreign country is tether? Do you think that's wrong? Say yes. Is it? Do you believe it's wrong? Yes or no? If it's wrong, say yes. If it's wrong, if it's not wrong, if it's wrong, say yes. If it's not wrong, say no. If you believe it's wrong, say yes. If you don't believe it's wrong, say no. Because I need to see where your headspace is coming from. Just the fact that they call you a tether, is that wrong? Yes or no? Because that's what they say now. They say Korea. They don't even make that distinction anymore. They just flat out call you a tether if you come from a whole different country. And that's the problem I have with the FBA community. It's like if you're a black person, even if you're born in America, if your parents are migrants, if your parents migrated from a whole different country, they call you a tether. You say if they acting like one, yes. If not, no. But you see, you can't. Yeah. Here's the thing, bro. You can't say if they're acting like one, if not, because they don't make that distinction. The FBA community do not make that distinction at all. They're not saying if you're acting like a hateful group of people, you're a tether. If you're acting like this, you're that. No, they call black people who come from foreign countries tethers. They say that. They don't make that distinction. And when I was being attacked in the chat, he said, see what I'm saying, robbing liquor stores now? I can't control what he's saying, but I will say this. I obviously don't know you. I don't know where you. I don't know you personally, obviously. So I can't say if you do this or do that. But he felt disrespected because you called him a tether. So he's clapping back at you. So it's like fair game at the end of the day, because he never called you out your name. You know, he's just speaking in general. He never called you out your name. Now you call him a tether. It's pretty much all bets are off. You said at least I didn't flee my homeland. All right. So you're being disrespectful now. So you're saying we free our homeland, but here's the thing. You know that black Americans they benefit from black foreigners, right? You know how many black foreigners are doctors, lawyers, nurses? You know how many black people have contributed to this country that are foreigners? These black Americans, if they have an emergency, they go to a doctor. You know a lot of these black doctors are not even black Americans. You know a lot of these black doctors are from Nigeria. You know, a lot of these black doctors are from Nigeria, Ghana, Jamaica, Caribbean. Hey, yo, let me tell you something. Black Americans can't okay, if these so-called black Americans were delineating from all ethnic minorities that are black, then you can't. Then when you go to a hospital, you have an emergency, and if it's a doctor that is Nigerian, Ghanaian, Jamaican. You can't receive any help from them because you're delineating, right? You're saying you're stepping away from the other ethnic group that are black because you want to create your own group, right? Because you said you're tracing your lineage back to America, right? You say, yeah, they have their fake. Oh, okay. So now you're just being disrespectful now. And I don't need to go to a witch doctor. You hear this dude, man? You trope, man. All right, now it's just I was feeling sorry for you at one point. I was trying to not feel sorry. I was trying to understand where you're coming from, but now you're just being ignorant right now, brother. You're just being ignorant because I'm not saying you're saying they have fake degrees, but there's a lot of educated black doctors that are from other countries. But you called him out of his name first. I said it's fair game because you called him out of his name. I like you, boy. This dude is trolling, man. You said you need to go to a witch doctor to stop the cops from busting caps in your people. Yeah, this is crazy. Oh my God, this is going somewhere else I never thought it would go. But this stereotype thing is stereotypical. Oh, witch doctor this, witch doctor. You say you like me. Oh, what in what way, man? Because I think you're being sarcastic right now. You say I'm cool. I don't got no problem with black Americans. I don't got no issues with Black Americans. What I'm saying is I have an issue with this FBA thing going on where they calling Black people tethers, and they all label these people as tethers. And I've had that experience, and I got blocked recently from Red Supreme T channel. Red Supreme, one of his moderators blocked me, and I went to a whole different account and addressed it. And they know my channel because they know my name. They are fully aware who I am, and he ignored my comment. So I just say the fakeness that's coming from the FBA community is crazy. And I'm saying all FBA thinks like this. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to say all FBA thinks like that, but a huge majority of them do. And you know, over 50% of them have this same belief. And Tariq Nasheed is the one that came up with these terms, man. So like I said, if we could all agree to disagree, it's okay. We could have our own opinions, but when you start treating people a certain way based on where they're from, that's where I have a problem with, man. Because Black people, as a whole, we're all under the same umbrella, man. White America don't see us any differently based on where we're from. You see? At the end of the day, we're seen as another N-word. But let me go back to this video, and I'm gonna play this video by Tariq Nasheed, because Tariq Nasheed is the founder of this FBA thing, and he's the one that came up with this term tether, which is a very derogatory term to use to explain Black foreigners. But anyways, let me go back to this video.
I don't
It's not
think
a bad thing.
single accent, man.
Brother, the minute you got on here, I knew you weren't FBA, and that's okay. That's all right. You still are. You're my brother.
Well, technically, you know, I'm still FBA. You know, I got. You know.
No. You're Senegalese, and that's okay.
All right.
That's okay.
All right. Well, I know for a fact that I'm FBA, so I'm gonna represent myself as FBA, right? But then on top of that, if any one of y'all FBA don't respect it, I'm a tombstone your grandmother on your grandfather's grave, and I put that on everything I love.
You said, how is he the founder of a whole group that's very... Do you know who Tariq Nasheed is, bro? If you literally type in FBA, you know what shows up when you type in Foundational Black American? You know where that term Foundational Black Americans come from? You know who created that term? He's the one he's the one that created the term FBA. If he created the term FBA, is he not the founder? Is he not the one that made it what it is? That's not what I'm saying. You're taking what I'm saying out of context. When I say he's the founder of the FBA movement, I'm saying he's the one that came up with the term FBA. He used this term as a grift, because what he does is that he used the struggle that Black people have faced during chattel slavery for financial gain, and then he created this division amongst all Black people to make Black folks who identify as a so-called FBA see other Black people that come from other ethnic group that maybe trace their ancestors to parts of the Caribbean or Africa or South America as so-called tethers. He's the one that created this term. Stop using... Damn. Your comments, cause it's been hidden, but you said basically, Poor Boy, you need to Poor Boy Magic, you need to get out and your people out of the alphabet community and stop using, that word, that white stuff, and pull your pants up, and maybe Popo will stop poo-pooing y'all. Bro, he's going in. It just means we're from the soul. They used to say Native Black Americans. I acknowledge that. I don't think you was in my stream earlier on. I acknowledge that not all Black people came from slave ships. I acknowledge that in my earlier live stream that there were Black people that were indigenous to the land of America. I'm a very objective person. I'm not biased when it comes on to talking about this topic. I'm just addressing the issues that I see in the FBA community. So at the end of the day, I am not someone that's just looking at it from a biased point of view. I'm not saying, man, black people are black Americans, the so-called FBA, are living in denial and all of them came from slave ships and all this stuff. I never once said that in my live stream. I never once said that. Even the so-called video I reacted to earlier before this one, this YouTuber was saying, he made a point about how black Americans all came from slave ships, and I said no. Not all black Americans came from slave ships. There are black people that are indigenous to America that have lived thousands of years on this land. Black people have been indigenous to every part of the continent. So I've addressed that in my previous live. I've said that. So I'm very objective when it comes on to talking about this. So I'm not looking at it from a perspective of someone that has a personal vendetta against FBAs like Ringo TV does. Ringo TV has a personal vendetta against FBA because when he spoke out against FBA, he said something, I would never in my life say something this egregious. He said that Charlie Kirk did more for the black community than Martin Luther King ever did. And when he said that, I had to say, nah, I had to cut you off. So I'm objective. I'm not someone that's looking at things. And he made a recent video speaking out against FBA. And there's certain things that I agree with him. And there's other things I don't agree with him. But I know what he was talking about as a whole was coming from a biased point of view because he has a personal vendetta against FBAs. He's the same one. You know the case that happened with Nolan Wells? That young black man that lost his life tragically on that trip to the islands. You know that he's the same one that says F Nolan Wells? He said F Nolan Wells. And he also said that the family of Nolan Wells needs to be locked up, also along with Carmelo Anthony's family, because they're basically grifting for money. So I have an issue with that because Nolan Wells do not deserve to lose his life tragically the way he did. And he's saying this because he has a personal vendetta against FBA. So any person that maybe identifies FBA, if it's a black person, he's being very biased in his objection and how he sees things with FBA. So he's basically not speaking out against it. He said, oh, there's no such thing as sundown towns, and you guys are living in La La Land. You said, at least I see the problem with it. And then Cuz said, these people are uneducated and bow down to the white man's and don't know the history. Ain't no point in going back and forth with them. They lack comprehension skills. But you see, that's true. I agree with you 100%. I don't like to entertain the BS, the drama, because that's one thing I don't like. I don't like drama. I just like being fair and balanced with a lot of things. And one thing I don't want us as people to do is to be disconnected, because listen, our people are under attack. You got lynchings that are happening, especially in the state of Mississippi. You're hearing about this every few weeks. You hear about a black person that's being lynched. They end up finding a black person that's lynched. Then this argument is going on for a while now. You said people who read on the second grade level and drop out of middle school can't talk to me. Yeah, I feel you, cuz I mean, like I said, I don't, the disrespect, you see, one side is disrespectful to the other side, and it's like when one side say one thing, it creates division. And that's the problem I have with the FBA community, because when I got called out on my name, he wasn't the ones rolling around on the ground when the queen died. What do you mean? Who is he? We wasn't the one rolling around on the ground when the queen died? Are you disrespecting Jamaicans? What do you mean, poor boy? Are you being disrespectful to black foreigners? Because that's basically what you're saying. That's essentially what you're saying. You said we wasn't the one rolling on the ground when the queen died. Are you talking about the queen from Great Britain? Are you saying Jamaicans are the ones that were rolling around? Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Is that what you're saying? What do you mean? Like, are you disrespecting black? Like, I don't want to jump to, like I said, I want to get where you're coming from. I want to seek clarification. We wasn't the one rolling around on the ground when the queen died. What are you talking about, bro? Because the only queen that I could think about is the Queen of England, right? So, anyways, going back to what I was saying, this division that's going on amongst black people needs to stop because our people are under attack by these racist white devils. You said I see why Africans don't like them or respect certain people now. I can see too, and see, I'm not someone that has a hatred towards Black Americans. Like I said, I support people. You said it's cool for him to say we bow down to the white man. Where did you say that? Well, not every person is necessarily bound down to the white man. I would say, as a whole, you see, when the people as FBAs, they almost practice. No, they're not almost. They're practicing the same thing that white people did through racism, because they're saying based on your ethnicity, you are seen differently than us. I'm not picking on students. I'm being objective. I'm just saying. This argument all started because you call him out of his name, bro. You call him a tether, and that's a very derogatory term to call black people that come from a different country. Because I felt I was called out of my name for no apparent reason, and I was being disrespected for the simple fact that I came from a whole different country. And you see, when black folks do this stuff, treating black folks that are foreigners as us people as less than, and call them this derogatory term known as tether that was made up by Tariq Nasheed, it creates division amongst our people when we're supposed to be coming together at a time now where we need unity. This is the most important time now, because when you got all these elections that are going on in Mississippi, and recently in North Carolina, there was a black man that's African that was found lynched. So they're not looking at black people and saying, okay, I'm not going to lynch this person based on where they're from. Oh, I'm not going to lynch this person if they're Haitian. I'm not going to lynch this person if they're Jamaican. They all see us the same. So when we think about the issue that's going on in America, we need to put our differences aside and come together to face the common enemy. But because of this FBA thing going on with these so-called FBA cult group that see black foreigners as tethers, they create divisions amongst our people, and it's like that needs to stop, man. I see why no one likes you, especially the Chinese. It's crazy, can't even use your beaches. All right, now you just chill out with the disrespect, poor boy. I won't tolerate the disrespect. And I'm not gonna say I'm picking sides, but I'm just saying, like, black people. When you're talking about the Chinese, when they didn't necessarily conquer the beaches. You said not me, but I'm saying don't go in that's my cousin. That's my blood right there, man. You don't even have a country to go to a beach. You can't even use the sidewalks because of cop shoes. Can we all agree? Can we all get along, man? Because I like I said, I don't want to pick. You're my cousin, but I won't let you disrespect my cousin. First of all, family comes above everything else. That's my blood. That's my blood relative right there. So, don't disrespect him. And also, can we just have a civil conversation in the chat? Because you said the thing that I want to understand is that we're all facing a common enemy, and we need to unite more than ever. I have a problem against the FBA community when it comes down to issues pertaining to that. Yeah, I agree. He came at you for no reason. He called you out your name, and he's wrong for that. So, like, you have all right to clap back at him. I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, man. I stand with you because you're my cousin. So when it comes on to you, man, you have all right to clap back at him. I gotta block you, cause I'm poor boy. I'm not gonna block and place you on being disrespectful, brother. Nah, I'm gonna place you on time. I'm not gonna block you. And when you come back in the chat, if you do decide to, you gotta come with respect. You know, disrespect. Don't disrespect, man. Because our black people coming from all these different countries, we face the same struggle as you, dog. Cuz I hope you didn't take what I say wrong and saying, don't go back and forth. No, cuz I know he called you out your name first. You didn't disrespect him. You said what happened? What happened was my cousin that was in the chat, was called a derogatory term, which the FBA used to degrade black folks that are foreigners. He called my cousin a tether, which is another way of calling a black person the N-word, but they use it to describe black foreigners. And he said, this is what my cousin said. There was nothing wrong with what he said. I have to place this guy on timeout. I didn't block him yet because we need to come together, man. We need unity more than ever, man. Our people are under attack, man. We can't be so divisive, but this is an issue I have with the FBA community. The division, man. He said they don't even know their history. They don't even know that the slave ships stopped in hella countries like in America, Jamaica, Grenada, Trinidad, Brazil, Puerto Rico, Haiti, which is facts. He never called this guy out of his name. He didn't say anything about this guy. And this guy came out of nowhere and called him tether. Disrespectful. So and he's the one that came at my cousin wrongfully. So my cousin have all right to clap back at him. So I placed him on timeout. I didn't block him because I want to be able to have a civil discussion with these folks to see how can we as people unite. But you see, when it comes on to this FBA movement, I don't see how things can change because there's too much hatred amongst that group of people. You said I'm Mexican, but I believe in equal rights. Got a story. Everyone got a story. I do agree. Everybody has a story, but you see, when it comes on to people creating labels against certain group of people, that's when I have an issue. Because to just automatically label somebody that is from a whole different country as so-called tether, they only call black people, mainly call black people tethers, but they call any foreigners that are not so-called foundational black Americans, they call them tethers. So that's the problem I have. And I'm objective when it comes into just discussing this topic as a whole. And I said, it ain't right. But I was just mentioning earlier that I used to support this YouTuber named Red Supreme, and I used to always be in this channel, always speaking up against system of white supremacy and all this stuff. And then I got called out of my name because once they found out that I was a black American, the moderator on the channel called me a tether. I don't know if she called me a tether but she said something along the line of, "Oh, you're not one of us because you're not a black American." And then one of the random person in the chat called me the tether and just called me out my name for no reason. I didn't disrespect them. I didn't say nothing that would warrant that type of response. But they feel empowered to do that because people like Tariq Nasheed enable these so-called foundational black Americans to use that term. I respect Picasso for being objective. I appreciate that, man. And it's not right to label people things. Exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's not right to call people names and to label them a certain way. But listen to this guy, because I wanted to finish the video by this Tariq Nasheed guy, because he's the one that created this foundational black American movement thing. This was not a thing that existed in the 90s. And don't get me wrong, I don't have an issue with black Americans finding something that they can attach themselves to because of slavery. Our ancestors have gone through so much trauma, and slavery is one of the most traumatic things that a person can go through. So I understand the pain and the struggle that my people have been through. Whether you're from America, whether you're from the Caribbean, whether you're from like any part in the country that have been through slavery, I understand the struggle and the pain that my people have faced. So I speak out against the system that has been placed in society to continue this same cycle of white supremacy. So I speak out against it. I have a problem with it 100%. So I'm fair and balanced when it comes on to that. But with this whole FBA movement, man, and Tariq Nasheed creating the term tether, it's just like, that's when it really took a turn for the worse. But I'm going to continue with this video, and I'll be back with my commentary.
No. We don't want you pouring Jollof sauce on nobody. But thank you, sir. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Family.
You see that? Oh, did you hear that? You see how he disrespected this guy? Let me play back so if you guys ever missed it. This is one of the callers that called into the show was didn't speak nothing negatively about Black Americans. I'm gonna play from the beginning. He never once spoke out against Black Americans. And look how Tariq Nasheed disrespected him for no apparent reason, for the simple fact that one of his parents came from Africa or something like that. And all of a sudden, once he found out this, he was a so-called, I hate using that word, but that derogatory word. Once he found out he came from a whole different country, look how he disrespected him. But let me play this clip from the beginning, because this is how these folks behave. This is how they act towards Black people that come from a whole different country. So let me play from the beginning. Listen to what he did. Listen to this.
Have you been to visit Senegal?
Never. I never went back.
I hear an accent.
I ain't got no.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but I don't know. I haven't been in the spaces, so I don't know what's being talked about over there. So yeah, I don't know.
Disingenuous.
It's all love. It's all respect, man. It's all respect over here.
You hear this guy? He literally contradicted himself. He said it's all love and all respect over here, but he did the exact opposite of that. Listen to this next caller. No, you're not in timeout no more. You're not in timeout no more, bro. You're in the chat now. So you're not in timeout no more. I just had to place you in timeout because you're getting disrespectful. And listen, I'm not trying to like call you out or anything, because like I said, I like to be fair and balanced. But you're the one that started with the disrespect, because he was speaking in general. He didn't say specifically you. He said in general that we all come from different parts. We are all shipped in different parts of the world through slavery, and that's facts. He never called you out your name, but you did call him out of his name. You said he was a tether for saying that, which is wrong. And so when he came back to you, I can't really stop him because he's a grown man. But you called him out of his name first. But I only placed you on timeout because the disrespect was getting out of hand, and he's my cousin. I can't stand for that. But if you could be respectful moving forward and just understand, you're gonna have disagreements. We're all not gonna agree on certain topics. I understand that, but do so respectfully. That's all I'm saying. And let's keep the chat, civil, because YouTube is like literally monitoring everything I do. They have, shadow banned my channel and they look at comments and stuff like that. So you got it? Fair enough. All right, let's continue with this. So I'm gonna point out something what Tariq Nasheed did, right? He literally said he contradicted himself in this statement right here. Listen to what he said. Listen to what he said.
I haven't been in the spaces, so I don't know what's being talked about over there. So yeah, I don't know. But it's all love. It's all respect, man. It's all respect over here.
If you guys are confused, I could play it in the beginning. A caller called and said that he was called out of his name by a so-called Foundation of Black American, because when they found out he was a Black foreigner, they called him a tether, which they did to me. I've experienced this, so this is not an isolated thing. This happened to me as well. So if you guys are confused of what's going on, I could go back in the beginning and listen to this caller, what he said.
Okay. Yeah. And I never knew that I'm anything but Black. I mean, now it's called cosplay or whatever. I mean, I'm older now, man. You know what I'm saying? But Black people stood for me, man. So I could never, ever, deny or, stood out my folks, even if they feel some sort of way nowadays. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, if black people believe and know and feel what they feel right now, we supposed to support them in any way necessary.
Yeah.
Okay.
My man. Okay. But thank you so much, brother. Why is it okay? Okay. It gave me a restriction because of JMO. I don't know why. Okay. All right, Joe.
Let me speed this up a little bit because it's kind
Joe. What's up, Joe?
1 second. Let me speed this up a little bit.
Okay. Let me see, Joe is out. Rolling Stone. Oh yeah, y'all watch your language. Yeah. They gave me a restriction. I had to get them out to stop the restriction. You gotta watch your language when y'all come up, please.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up, Rolling Stone?
Dog?
I'm good, man. How you doing, fam?
Man, I'm good, fam. Man, hey, man, I've been watching you, bro, since, man, I ain't gonna lie, so I was like 18, 19, man. I'll be 30.
You see, this guy said he's been supporting his channel for a very long time, so I'm sure there's a chance that he would donate it to the channel. He sent money, super chat, and this is one thing I can't stand about this FBA cult-like group, is that you could be donating to their channel. Like Red Supreme, I've donated to his channel. I've sent countless super chats, countless cash apps, and they don't see those those moments when you donate to their channel, and all of a sudden they tend to treat you differently when they find out you are not a Black American, or your lineage doesn't trace black to Black America. I mean America. Give me my bad. But listen to this.
36 next month, man. I just want to, you know what I mean, man, just give you your
From Texas?
Nah, I'm from Memphis.
Maybe, okay, yes.
Yo, Memphis 10, man. I was just, hey, you know, I came up, you know, I was just in your boy live over there, man. I think I heard y'all talking about him, the FBA Red dude.
Yeah,
man. Like,
Supreme.
I heard y'all, you know, I see that y'all.
I think he's talking about Red Supreme, the FBA Red dude. So I think that's who he is. That's who he's talking about.
Of course, I ain't gonna, say too much. But I ain't gonna lie though, man. I came up the bro live, you know, I was ripping for the FBA, bro started disrespecting me too, man. You know, I'm like, damn, it like that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I came up, you know.
You see, he was repping for the FBA, but they started disrespecting him because most likely they found out that he's not, his lineage don't trace back to chattel slavery in America. So when they found out, his ancestors are not from America, that's when they started calling him out of his name. But listen to this.
No, because he started asking me, like, you know what I mean, about my accent, and you know what I mean? I'm like, bro, like, I'm with the lineage, you know what I mean?
yeah. Oh yeah, but I don't know. I haven't been to the spaces, so I don't know what's being talked about over there. So yeah, I don't know.
Come on, man.
But, it's all love. It's all respect, man. It's all respect over here.
Yeah,
Respect.
right. Love and respect. But listen to the next caller. Listen to how you treat the next caller. He said it's all love and all respect over here. But listen to the hypocrisy of this guy. Listen to how he treat the other caller when he found out that he's from another country based on his accent. He literally said it's all love and respect over here. But listen to how he treats the other guy.
All right, let me get on. Thank you, brother.
This
Let me
is
get
crazy,
Alfred.
bro.
Hey, what's going on, my good brother?
Hey, brother, how are you, Alfred?
Doing good, man. Hey, listen, you know, I'm a Pan African. You know, I'm gonna just put that out there. You know,
Are you Nigerian?
You see, you automatically say you have an accent. I thought it was all love and respect over here. This is the hypocrisy of the FBA movement. They don't practice what they preach. Oh, it's all love and respect over here. But listen, you just literally started treating this guy differently based on the fact that he has an accent. Ridiculous.
I ain't Nigerian, man.
No, where's your family from? I hear an accent.
I ain't got no accent, brother. I'm from Jersey.
Brother, where's your family from? Bro?
This is
I'm
crazy.
Black American.
With respect, brother, and that's okay. It's okay to be from an immigrant background, but we hear your accent. You know we can hear your accent, right?
How you gonna tell me where I'm from, man? Come on, don't do me like that.
Because I hear your accent, sir, and I hear flies in the back, so I hear it. I can hear it.
You hear flies in the back of your accent. You see how disrespectful these folks are? But he said that there's love and respect over here. What a bunch of, oh my God, man. These people are full of crap, man. Do you see where I'm coming from with this FBA community? The hatred and the intolerance that they have towards black people that are from different countries. This dude never once disrespected the so-called FBA community. He never called them out their name, but he came out of nowhere to disrespect him based on his accent. But previously in the other call, he said it's all love and respect over here. But he's not loving and respecting this guy. He's disrespecting him based on his accent. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Hear it, sir. Where you from?
This is crazy.
All right. Yeah. So my father from Senegal. You know,
There you go.
you know,
There you go.
my mother, she Black American. I say that.
You hear that?
I don't even believe
Said
that.
the father is from Senegal and his mother is from America. But he even said he don't believe that his mom is from America. What kind of hateful shit is this? What kind of hateful shit is this, man?
He Black American, for real, man.
I don't believe that. Have you been to visit Senegal?
Actually,
Never,
if
I
you
never
finish
went
it.
back, man. I mean, like when I was
come
3
on
years
now.
old, my mother took me, you know, but I ain't never. I don't remember it.
Yeah. You don't. Your mother is not FBA. You wouldn't have an accent if your mother was FBA. You learn how to talk really from your mother. You're gonna have your mother's accent.
I say so,
Hateful group
man.
of
I say
people,
so,
man.
but you know, just like how I know how to talk, you know, for in my Senegal accent or talk in my FBA accent, you know, it's a learned trait, just like you how you learn, right? So
No, brother. We hear it though.
I ain't got no. I don't.
That's not
think
a
I have
bad
a
thing.
Senegal accent, man.
Brother, the minute you got on here, I knew you weren't FBA, and that's okay. That's all right. You still are. You're my brother.
Well, technically, you know, I'm still FBA. You know, I got. You know,
No. You're Senegalese, and that's okay.
All right.
That's okay.
All right. Well, I know for a fact that I'm FBA, so I'm gonna represent myself
No.
as FBA, right?
So you see, he identifies FBA. I thought when it comes to label, if you identify yourself as such, that means you're supporting people that are part of that movement. A person can identify as racist, even though technically black people can be racist, because we don't create laws to any oppress a group of people, and there's never been a moment in history where black people have been in position of power and they have created system in place to put white people through slavery. So there's no way we can technically be racist. But a person can be identified as a different gender. They can be identified as a different you know, they can identify themselves according to certain ideologies, right? They can identify themselves as a Muslim and all these stuff. But if somebody say identify as FBA, if they're black and they say, yo, I identify as FBA because I support the FBA struggles and I understand the philosophy that comes with being an FBA and I'm all in one accord with FBA, now all of a sudden you say, oh, they're not a part of us because they don't come from the same lineage. Even though in mindset they have the same belief system as the FBA movement, which is crazy to me. So somebody could have the same belief system as the FBA, but oh, you're not a part of us because you're not from the same lineage. But let me just play this over because no, I'm gonna continue playing this.
But then on top of that, if any one of y'all FBA don't respect it, I'm a tombstone your grandmother on your grandfather's grave, and I put that on everything I love.
Okay, he's being
We don't
disrespectful.
want you pouring Jollof sauce on nobody. But thank you, sir.
I kind of see why he said what he said because now you're saying something disrespectful about people with grandma. I don't support that at all, but
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
That's crazy.
Family, we hear you. We can hear your accent. They be trying to cover them accents up. Family, they really think we can't tell.
Wow.
They really learn slang. They think if they talk in slang, that'll cover the accent. Dude, the minute you start talking, I know you ain't FBA. I can hear it. What?
And that's discrimination right there. It's literally discrimination. So based on his accent, you're discriminating him. Now you're treating him differently based on his accent. That's the same thing white folks did to your people during slavery. Discriminating against you based on your skin color, saying that you're not allowed to vote, you're not allowed to use the bathroom in certain areas, not you have to eat. There was segregation involved, and you're being discriminated against based on your race. But now you're doing the same thing to black foreigners. Oh, you're tethered because you don't come from the same lineage as me. You're practicing the same form of discrimination that. So you're basically. I think a lot of these folks have been they haven't emancipated themselves from mental slavery. So they still carrying those same mental slavery mindset that their ancestors they have, and they're taking that trauma and putting it on black foreigners to make themselves feel a sense of belonging or purpose. But I have an issue with that because it's like when you see black folks from coming different countries, we as one race, we're not seen differently according to our culture and where we're from. We are seen as black or African American. That's what they put on the census. Black or African American. They don't have different ethnic group. You know, you got so many different ethnic groups: Jamaican, Haitians, Guyanese, Trinidadian. You know, from Trinidadians. Like, come on, man. Some parts Nigerian, Ghanaians. Like, they don't identify us based on our ethnic group, but they all see us as black. So at the end of the day, white America don't see us any differently, bro. They go treat us the same. And when they have out here racist groups that are lynching our people, they're not looking at us differently based on our ethnic group, based on where we're from, based on our origin. They all treat us the same because of the fact that we're black. They look at our skin color and they judge us based on that, strictly. So we have a common enemy that we have to deal with. But with this division, there's no way we can come together to defeat the common enemy. You get what I'm saying?
What do you mean, nigga? What do you mean? What do you mean what I mean? I hear your accent, sir. Dude, I got family everywhere. We know regional accents. I know a Midwest accent. I know a West Coast accent.
That's
I
discrimination.
know dude, come on, man. We know our people. Damn.
Our people, wow.
I know a Memphis accent. I know.
Does he know his history? Are you guys hearing me clearly? Let me know if the volume is good. If he don't know his history, because if he would know his history, a lot of black slaves that were in the Caribbean were shipped to America. Like later on, not in the beginning, but like later on, there were like black slaves that are from Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, and Cuba, and all that stuff. A lot of them black slaves were shipped to America because slavery was a very profitable business back then, right? Because the slave owners made a lot of money off the back of slaves. So there's a lot of these so-called people who identify as FBA. Their lineage traces back to the Caribbean. Like their great grandparents were shipped over in slave ship, like sent over to America from the Caribbeans. But if people don't know the history, they will think, oh, all of us came from Africa, or the slave ships, and our lineage is traced back to chattel slavery only through America. But there was no way that the slaves were sent other places, because it was a big business back in the days. But you guys, can you follow? Do you guys hear what I'm saying? Can you guys follow me? Do you guys follow me? But anyways, I want to continue with the video. I'm not gonna go on for too long because it's been like over 2 hours now. But what I say, do you guys understand where I'm coming from? Do you guys see where I'm coming from? Because like I just said, I don't understand the division that's going on amongst black people. It's just too much division at the end of the day. And this needs to stop. We gotta put a stop to this, man. And Jesus Christ didn't die for just one group of people. God didn't die so that only FBA can be saved, bro. He desires so that his desires so all of us all shall come to repentance. But this FBA thing about, oh, I am delineating myself from any other people that are not FBA, I don't identify as FBA, are not a part of the lineage. That's not something that God preaches, or that's not something that God endorses. But when Jesus Christ came on this earth, he suffered in blood for the sin of all mankind. He didn't die for just one group of people. He died for all people. So the fact that Jesus came and suffered and bled and died for all mankind, it makes me understand that Jesus Christ would never support something like this. And I do support certain struggles in the fight that our people have faced when it comes onto white oppression, white supremacy and oppression in the system, in society. So I do support certain aspect of it. But anyways, guys, I'm not getting no feedback, so I'm about to wrap this video up, because if I'm not getting no feedback, it seems like people are not interacting with the chat. But like I said, I don't have nothing against people who identify as FBA. I don't have issues with certain, because it's not everybody that thinks the same. Not every people who are part of the so-called FBA movement, not all of them believe the same way that like a lot of these FBA see black foreigners as so-called tether, right? So I don't think that's an issue as a whole. I don't have an issue with the people who identify as FBA as a whole. I just have certain problems with their mindset when it comes down to how they look at black people that are from another country, that are black. Anyways, guys, nobody's saying anything in the chat. Are you guys following me? Anyways, I could continue a little bit more, but I'm not gonna go on for too much longer. Let me know if you guys can hear me. You still in the chat, cuz? You can hear me? Alright, cool. You guys can hear me? Alright, cool. Alright, I'm just gonna play a couple more, and then I'm gonna wrap this video up. But like I said, it's all about just addressing issues, certain topics, certain things that I see. Just addressing the problem, man. Because people like to live in denial, and the issue that I have, like, you see, Tariq Nasheed automatically discriminated this man based on his accent, and he never once called out FBA out of their name. He never once labeled them. He never said nothing negative about the FBA community. And all of a sudden, you're treating him differently based on his accent. I just hate that, man. And that's how they treat people that are from other country that are black.
Somebody with Texas, I know Alabama accents, Georgia accents, Florida accents, and the slang, because accents and slang go with it. Detroit slang. We know. LA and Bay Area, there's two different accents from the Bay. You can tell when somebody's from the Bay and when they're from LA. An Inglewood accent, even different parts of LA, the people got different accents. We know our people, man. And when we hear an accent like that, oh, that ain't us. Yeah, Baltimore accent, yeah, New York accent. Yeah, Jersey has a specific accent, they're Jersey accents. Philly girls, boy, they got them little nasally ass accents. There's a little accent they got in Philly. I've messed with some Philly girls before. The accent and the slang and the some of the terms they
He's
use.
just yapping about accent. Let's speed this up a little bit.
You understand? So we know.
Let's speed this up a little bit. He's just saying
we
a
know.
bunch of nothing.
I'm from Jersey. What you talking about? Hey, where's your family from, bro? King, what's your name? King, what's up, King? You hear me? I can hear you. What's up, brother?
What's happening, baby? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. What city you in, brother?
I'm out here now, but I'm from Chicago.
Oh, there you go. What's going on out there, man? What's on your mind?
Oh, nothing, man. Real quick. Of course, you know we ain't rocking with the immigration protest, but now I just wanted to bring it to your attention, man. If you had seen that they got the high school students out here marching for it.
Yeah, man. I saw something where they get high school kids to go out here with all this stuff, and I ain't with that. Yeah, I ain't with that at all. I wouldn't want my kids out there in those schools. Yeah, they got schools organizing this stuff, using the students. So yeah, I ain't cool with that. I am not cool with that. All right. Let me get a couple of people in here. Let me see. This brother got a bird on his thing. So I wonder if he's a Drake fan. All right. This brother has.
Tariq.
Brother, what kind of sounds are those in the background, though, brother?
No, sorry, brother.
Yeah, that's
Are
just
you riding a
crazy.
giraffe right now? What is all that wind and stuff? Sound like you're high up in the air somewhere.
He's a giraffe, bro. That's crazy.
It's the ventilation.
Okay, can you get off the camel for a minute?
Imagination.
Talk and I can hear you.
Get off the camera.
What
What?
country are you in, sir?
Oh man.
What part of Africa, sir?
What happened?
There's just a lot of noise going on. I'm concerned. Are you okay? What? Not enough. Africa's pretty big. What part of Africa, sir?
I'm in Kenya.
This person is
What the hell
trolling.
is that? This brother is at an ostrich factory. This nigga's he's hatching ostrich eggs or something. What are you doing over there?
Oh, that's
Brother, what's
crazy.
on your mind, man? Wait, brother, you got all this damn activity in the background, brother. It's very disturbing, sir. So yeah, I'm not going to ignore it. There's something going on in the back, and it sounds weird, sir. All right. So what's on your mind, brother? Bro, what is on your mind?
Yo, this all the loops in the background.
Can I say something, bro?
Yeah, I would like to be able to. I would like to be able to hear you, sir.
Could you
No, this is hilarious, man.
push your agenda without bashing or putting down other people? Is
Yeah.
it possible
Who's
for
being
the FBA
bashed?
to do that? No, that's what we do. Go to other people with divergent ideas from yours. You know, we'd like to talk a lot
So
of
you're in
shit.
Kenya. You're in Kenya. You're talking about somebody. You're in Kenya. All that tribal beef y'all got going on. And you talking about somebody bashing somebody? Y'all bash the hell out of each other, sir.
Oh
All the
damn,
different
man. He's
tribes
so
over there.
disrespectful, bro.
Each other.
Who lied to
Each
you that
other.
you're an expert? Who told you you're an expert, bro? Who lied to you?
Yeah, I know y'all got a bunch of tribes over there.
How many tribes do you know from Africa? How many?
Yeah, y'all got thousands of them all over Africa.
You know,
And you got a bunch. You
name
got.
one.
See, do you see how disrespectful this dude is? He don't even know. Okay. Not every part in Africa is tribal like that, yo. You got places in Africa that's well developed. The only reason why I was laughing because the noise in the background and his response was just funny, man. Like, it was just hilarious, but like he's very ignorant, man. Cause he's talking about every part in Africa got these tribes like they are just savages, a bunch of noble savages that are just out there to just attack one another, and they're very like bloodthirsty animals, you know. But there's places in Africa that's are highly developed. They got cities. They got they it looks modern. It looks more developed than a lot of places in America. Africa is one of the fastest developing continent in the world, man. And a lot of African countries are highly developed and they don't have no tribe. Like, and even if they do have tribe, they're like nomadic, or they stay to themselves. They don't interact with people that live in the city and stuff like that. So to just have this idea that all parts of Africa are a bunch of full of tribes, man, that's another ignorant thing that noticed in the FBA community. They be thinking all black Africans, what they call tethers, are living in like mud huts and stuff like that. That's a lot of ignorance that comes from that, man. I'm telling you, the FBA community is filled with a lot of ignorant people and very hateful and prejudiced. It's like they practicing the same system of white supremacy that their ancestors went through. They're literally carrying out those same type of narrative about black Africans. They call Africans African tethers. They don't even make that distinction. They all call African tethers, you know. So it's sick. But let me continue with this. I think I'm gonna keep going on, but I'm not gonna go on for too much longer.
You talk like you're an expert.
Okay.
No, you talk like you know a lot. So name one. Just
Okay, little musty thing. You don't talk over me.
no. Can you name one tribe from Africa? You talk like you're an expert, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all got a gazillion of them. Zulu.
Just name one. Just one.
Zulu. I just named one. Zulu.
Because they typed it in the comment section.
No.
Okay, you said we've got beef in Kenya among our tribes. No.
You are. I mean, damn. I can name a bunch of them.
Ignorant.
What's the point of naming them? Now,
Mad ignorant,
two or
bro.
three of them. Now what? All right, no point. You just ain't no point. Yeah, right.
You,
Ain't
black
no point.
Americans.
Ain't no point. Right. Nobody's thinking about you. You think we're thinking about you?
Nah, bro. You come over
You got a real. That's very arrogant. Sir,
you claim
sound,
what you
sir, you over there struggling now. Those are struggle signs. We're not thinking about you.
You should focus on issues in America.
We're not thinking about. We're not thinking about you. We weren't even talking about you. We weren't talking about no damn Kenyans.
Your platform.
We weren't talking about you. You ain't nobody to talk about. Who are you to talk about? Who are you to talk about, sir? Who are you to talk about?
But that's what
That's your fantasy. We're not talking about you. You're fantasizing. You want somebody to talk about you. You're pretending somebody can talk about you so that you don't feel irrelevant. We're not talking about you, sir.
We gotta pay
at all. You're in Kenya.
This is lies. They do talk about black foreigners all the time, man. They call them African tethers, and bro, like, it's just a hypocrisy amongst the FBA community, bro. They're just a bunch of hypocrites, man. Bunch of hypocrites. But I think my live stream's been going on for too long, and I gotta take care of some business. Are you guys liking what if you want, I could go a little bit longer, but if you guys pretty much get the point, you guys get the point, or do you guys want me to continue? Let me know. I could continue for a little longer. Not for too long, but let me know if you guys want me to continue for a little longer. But like, it's just ridiculous how they look at black foreigners, man. How they see them as less than. Oh, you guys live in mud huts. You guys are like a bunch of savages. You guys go out there and just have hunt animals and live in these terrible conditions and live like uncivilized animals. That's the same way white folks look at black people. The teaching, the way they have, is the same exact thing. So they pass it on past trauma that their ancestors went through during slavery. It's like they haven't emancipated themselves from mental slavery. That's what Bob Marley say, to emancipate yourself from mental slavery. And learning to love yourself is the greatest love that you can have. But these people are stuck in mental slavery, man. They got that trauma, man, that they refuse to get out of. They still passing on that same trauma up to now. So, but anyways, let me finish up this one clip, and then I'll call it a wraps. But this is the problem I have with these folks, man.
Nobody, we're not thinking about you, sir. What makes you think we're thinking
The
about
reason
you?
why I can't take you seriously is because I know this FBA
Who are you to take seriously? Sir,
online.
you live in the biggest slum in Africa, Kibera. Y'all got the biggest slum really in the world.
Mm.
What makes you think we're thinking about somebody up in a slum?
Bro, why are you always talking
Bro,
about
nothing.
Africans, bro? We don't
What makes you
fucking
think?
like that.
What makes you think we're thinking about somebody in the
Yeah,
biggest slum in the
but
world?
that's the only thing you do, Tariq.
What you
Everything
called up here
about is
talking about?
bigotry.
You called up here trying to center yourself, sir. You called up here trying to
I'm not
center
trying
yourself,
to
and you're
center
irrelevant.
myself. I'm trying
Yes, you did. You
Your
tried to tell
face,
him why
bro.
you talking about us. We ain't talking about no damn slum dweller.
Bro, that's what you do. That's what you do.
We ain't thinking about you, sir. Nobody's thinking about you, sir.
Whatever. Anyway, you can
Go in there and
Yeah.
walk your hyena or something, sir. Nobody's thinking
Okay,
about you.
bro.
Get the hell out of here.
Sick. Disrespectful, man.
So these tethers try to center themselves by pretending we're thinking about them. That's cat. Nobody's thinking about
See how
you.
you use the word tether so
Why
freely?
do you always have us on your mind? Nobody's talking
So
about you. We
disgusting,
don't give a
man.
damn. You calling up to center yourself because you hate the fact that you're a
Tyreek Neal, he was exposed earlier for making a false allegation about a person and saying he used a PDF file, and the person took him into court and they won the verdict of $50,000. So he had to pay out for, you know, what you call it, defamation, defaming this guy's character and making up false allegations that were not proven to be true. And Tariq Nasheed, the same dude that's saying this derogatory thing against African Americans or black Africans that are black, calling them tethers. This is the same guy that have to pay a $50,000 verdict for defaming somebody's character. This is why I don't take these dudes seriously, because they all talk, but it's like you're pimping your viewers for financial gain, and Jesus Christ is not gonna be happy about these folks. You see, when God died on the cross, He died for the sins of all mankind. He didn't die for just a certain group of people. Oh, the only select group of people that are going to be saved are the Hebrew Israelites and the people that are originally the disciples. No, God died so that all that come to Him for repentance can be saved. He didn't die for just one group. So, like, for these people to think that they're so much better than other black people based on the fact that their lineage traces back to cattle slavery in America, it's not something that God will support, man. Like, I support the struggle. I support the fight against white supremacy because white people have used the Bible as a weapon for them to carry out slavery. So they use it as a tool to justify slavery, which I have a problem with because I know there are things in the Bible that has been taken and taken out of context and also changed and manipulated for their own, you know, mischievous ways. So I understand that aspect of it. I'm all against that, but this whole superiority complex that they have gathered in their mind, they act like as if they are the only one that's gonna be chosen by God. I know that's not typically them. There's a lot of the Hebrew Israelites that think this way too, but a lot of Hebrew Israelites also latch on to the FBA movement, which is creating confusion amongst our people because it's like, damn, where do you fit in? Where do you belong? You're Hebrew Israelites on one day, and next day you're FBA, you're ADOS. It's like, damn, there's so much division amongst our people. Like, it's like we could never agree on one thing, and now we are so divided to the point where these racist soldiers are out here lynching black people one by one. It's like, damn, we can't even come together to put our differences aside so we could face the common enemy. But, you know, FBA has done this, and I have to call them out on their BS, man. But let me see if I could finish up this clip real quick. Let's see.
irrelevant. Just say that. That's a play that these tethers like to do. They like to pretend that.
You see how freely he throws out the word tethers? This is the problem I have with the FBA community. They just feel so emboldened to just freely throw out the word tether, which is a derogatory term used to describe black people that migrate are that may live in a different country or migrated from a foreign country. They just freely just throw out the word tether. That's like literally calling a black person the N word with the R-E-R. But yeah, because they said black people can be racist. Black people can be racist, which I do agree. We can be racist in terms of we don't in terms of the system itself. We don't create laws to oppress any group of people, and we don't benefit from the system as a whole. But we can perform. We can, like, for instance, with this tether, when they label black people as tether that are from foreign countries, that's a form of racism that they're practicing because they're discriminating against the people based on their ethnic background, based on where they're from, based on their origin, based on their accent. You know, like in the video what I played, Tariq Nasheed automatically stereotyped this guy out based on his accent, and he's like, he didn't even try to understand where this man was coming from in terms of how he see FBAs or Black Americans. If he never said nothing bad about Black Americans, why are you discriminating against him based on his accent? That's a form of white supremacy. That's literally you're carrying out the same system of racism. Obviously, you're not racist because no black person can be racist, but you're practicing certain forms of it because you're doing the same thing that they do to you. It's like literally they passing on the same trauma that their ancestors endured through slavery. They haven't freed themselves from mental slavery. So that's the problem with the black folks, man, that are a part of the so-called FBA community. They haven't freed themselves from mental slavery.
We're thinking about you. You sound like he got struggle sounds in there. This guy, who's lady? Oh, hello. Disconnect you, ma'am. Yeah, when she came up, I immediately got a warning. Okay. But let me get something straight with these tethers. Let me explain something.
Tethers, so derogatory, man.
Let me explain something to these tethers.
So derogatory, man.
Let me explain something.
Tethers.
Because they try to play this game. You FBA's are xenophobic. You hate us, you xenophobic. Listen.
And you're a pimp.
Foundational Black Americans. We're not xenophobic in any sense of the word. There's absolutely nothing xenophobic about us.
Yes,
I want y'all to understand something. That's a lie that these people like to project.
How is it a lie when it's based
on
xenophobic? How is it not? How? Wait. First of all, if you think about xenophobia and how they act towards people that are non-FBA, they automatically call you a tether, which is a form of xenophobia. You don't even get to know the person. You don't understand where they're coming from, where their headspace is at. And automatically you're stereotyping them out based on their ethnic background, based on where they're from, based on their accent. Come on, man. Even though they may identify themselves as FBA, even the previous caller that said, bro, I see myself as a part of the FBA community. You're like, no, you're not a part of no FBA community because one of your parents is not from America. So automatically you're not no FBA. That's discrimination. You're literally practicing xenophobia. So it's like you're literally contradicting himself. He's contradicting himself because he's literally doing the same thing that he claimed he's not doing. He's literally contradicting himself. But let's listen to this guy.
Yeah. Foundational Black Americans are not xenophobic whatsoever.
That's a lie.
That is a projection whenever people say it. I want y'all to understand we don't have to drop of xenophobia in us. Foundational Black Americans, we are the only group that has historically helped other groups integrate. We didn't just tolerate immigrants. We absorbed them. We defended them. We protected them. What the hell is this? Hold on, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? Hold on, y'all bear with me. Sorry about that. Some damn birds. What is this shit? Hold on, man. Hold on. I don't know what I'm getting. Hold on.
And it's not all. He's speaking like in absolute terms, like this is true across the board. There are immigrants that help Black Americans against the flies against white supremacy and racism, and they protected Black Americans too. They were in the fight along with them too. So it's not just straight up FBA that were doing it all on their own, man. Obviously, a huge amount of credit goes to them because they had to fight against the system of white supremacy, and during slavery there's a lot that had to be done to overcome the injustice that our people has been through. So I support that aspect of it. But to just say that you guys took on that burden all on your own is just disingenuous, man. Because you didn't take on all that burden on your own. There were other ethnic group that were black that came from other countries that were fighting alongside with you, that was right there in arms with you to fight against the oppression system that was placed in America against blacks. So what he's saying really is not all truthful.
Oh, y'all bear with me. I don't know what's going on. My pictures, I don't know, something happened with my pictures. But like I said, man, there's so many people trying to get up, man. I'm pushing these buttons.
Man, this
Like
was-
I said, we defended people. We protected people who were immigrants. And these people come over and benefit directly from our struggles. Xenophobic groups don't create pathways for other groups to thrive. Foundational Black Americans did, though. Let's get this shit straight. Foundational Black Americans, we are the primary consumers and promoters of y'all African culture and Caribbean culture. Fam, do y'all know dashikis? That got started with us over here in the 60s. They weren't wearing dashikis over there until we started doing that. That was something we were doing over here in the 60s. Then it caught on over there. We were...
Yeah, I gotta finish this stream. This ignorant guy is just getting on my nerves, and there's a lot of things that people are saying don't really make sense. And anyways, I could disapprove. Obviously, there's influence that Black Americans have made in this country that they haven't gotten their just due for. Like slaves made countless inventions that were stolen from them, and they were able to patent those inventions. I could be objective and say that is true. That has been a thing. History were like the history of the Black American slaves and all the stuff they've done and contributed to this country. A lot of it has been stolen, and they've lied in the history books to make it seem like white settlers, European settlers were like this intelligent, like group of people that made all these wonderful inventions. No, if you start looking and you look deeper, a lot of inventions came from black people, Black Americans mainly, but there are also immigrant groups that came from other countries and contributed to the overall growth of this country. So, like I said, I'm very fair and balanced. I'm not just biased when it comes on to looking at things, when it comes on to the FBA movement. But I'm about to finish this live stream. Hope you guys enjoy what I said. Like, comment, and subscribe, and tune in for more videos in regarding to other topics. I think I might address the second part of this video later on. I might go into more details about this because sometimes you gotta sit down and do more research to kind of like get your information down pat. Because obviously there's things that I can say for certain. I know for certain there were black people that were indigenous to the land in America. So that's a fact. That's not like made up story, and that's not fiction. So that's one thing I can agree with when it comes onto the FBA community. There are black people that are indigenous to the land. And it's like black people have been indigenous to every part of the globe, right? Our people have migrated all around the world and then passed down traditions from one generation to the next. So I understand that aspect of it. So I know that's see, I'm not someone who's biased and just looking at things from one lens. Like I try to take everything into account when it comes on to addressing this topic. But anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. Hope this video, can edify you and, resonate with you in some way, shape, or form. Like, comment, and subscribe this video to all different platforms. We got to get this video out there to reach more people. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Take care and have a great day. Peace for now.